Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Full-time MMA? Nothing else?
My life, man, yeah.
Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full-time
MMA.
And the former UFC heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic is asking the GOAT for a rematch after losing in the first round via knockout at UFC 226. And Stipe Miocic held that L very well. He said, "No excuses, the better man won tonight, man. It is what it is. I'm going to go home with my wife, my new baby girl." And that really puts things in perspective. You know, yeah, we're in here fighting and this is our career, but it's just another day's work. I got a family at home to go home to. So with that being said, Stipe just took the L very well. He didn't make any excuses. And now, you know, he took to Twitter to congratulate DC and also ask for a potential rematch. He said, "Congrats to DC. Didn't get the chance to say in the cage, but let's dance again and get a rematch before you call it a career. Thanks to my coaches and team." And with that being said, you can understand, of course, Stipe Miocic was a guy that this almost seemed like it was just going to be an easy payday for him. And of course, there's no such thing as an easy payday when you're fighting Daniel Cormier. But I say people were looking at it like that because he was the heavyweight champion fighting the light heavyweight champion. A lot of people expected him to win this fight. And so he didn't, he himself, even as just the champion, didn't expect to lose that night. So with that being said, I'm sure he wants his belt back, but this is the problem. And yeah, for one of the problems is he got knocked out in the first round, and that's usually not the best way to get an immediate rematch, right? But even that aside, is timing. DC's already talked about wanting to retire after probably 2 more fights. He wants to retire by March of next year. So, and he's already talked about his potential opponents he would like to fight in his last 2 fights, and that would be Jon Jones and Brock Lesnar. Now, the problem with Jon Jones is he's kind of suspended right now, so he might not get to fight Jon Jones, but he might defend his light heavyweight title before fighting Brock Lesnar. And if that was the case, those would really be his 2 fights. I don't see DC staying, you know, unretired just to give Stipe a rematch. You know what I'm saying? I think he'd rather ride off into the sunset. And he could probably, I mean, you know, if DC was going to stay around until he was 41 or 42, this is a fight I think for sure we could see in the future. I don't see any of these heavyweights coming up just wiping out Stipe Miocic en route to getting their own title shot. You know, if Stipe Miocic were to fight Derek Lewis next, I'd take Stipe. If he were to fight Francis next, I'd take Stipe. If he were to fight Curtis Blades or Volkov next, now we got some fights. Those are 2 dudes that are coming up as well in the heavyweight division. But either way, Stipe Miocic could very well win 1 or 2 fights and earn his title shot back. But by then, will DC still be around? I think the only thing that would keep DC around after his 40th birthday, which is where he's been wanting to retire, would be that last Jon Jones fight, because Brock Lesnar is going to be eligible to fight in January, according to USADA. He's entered the testing pool. He'll be ready to fight in January. So if that's the case, that's about the end of DC's career. He wants to be out of here by March. Let's say he fights Brock Lesnar in January. Let's say he fights him in February. Well, then, boom, he's probably not going to be fighting again after that. And so with that being said, if he does fight again, it'll probably be Jon Jones. And I say that because if Jon Jones isn't back before then, and then he's finally cleared, if DC could get through Brock Lesnar, which is, we're going to have to talk about that another day, like an actual breakdown just on that fight, Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar. But if he did, and he was still the heavyweight champion, then I'm sure he would love to fight Jon Jones at heavyweight. If that's where Jon Jones wanted it, that would actually be sort of a fresh matchup. We've never seen these guys fight at heavyweight. DC, the heavyweight champion, Jon Jones trying to do something he's never done, who probably having to be clean because people are going to be looking at him like, yo, are you passing your drug test? You failed too. He's probably going to have a fine-tooth comb up his ass, I would assume. So with that being said, that might be the only type of fight DC stays fighting for, or if he retires at 40. If he's gonna unretire for 1 fight, it would probably be that Jones fight, not Stipe. So I mean, yeah, Stipe Miocic is a guy that could for sure be the heavyweight champion again sometime in the future, middle of next year, you know, after DC's done on his run. But I don't know if he'll be fighting Daniel Cormier again. with that being said, it is what it is. DC responded, and in his tweet, you know, he responded very classy, but you'll notice he didn't say anything about a rematch. He said, "My brother, it was an honor to share the cage with you. I know you'll be back better than ever, champ. Head up and good luck with the baby. Hashtag father, hashtag husband, hashtag hero, hashtag champ, hashtag Cleveland." But like I said, you see there's no hashtag rematch. But either way, man, it is what it is. Congratulations to Stipe Miocic. He lost his belt, but he's got a new baby girl. And then, of course, congratulations to the motherfucking GOAT, the champ, Daniel Cormier. DC stands for double champ. Don't forget it. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And before we go, shout out to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit the bell right next to it so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And this is the hardest working MMA channel on YouTube. We provide daily updates, predictions, betting advice, we do songs, we do fantasy fights. We've interviewed Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley, Bruce Lachmedio, and Felony Charles Bennett, all in just 1 year as an MMA channel. We're one of the fastest growing MMA channels on the net, but we're still small, so make sure you guys go check out the Full-Time MMA Dojo if you want to learn how you can become a full-time MMA black belt. And while you're there, you can see where this MMA channel started from, some of the goals we have for the channel, and even more cool videos just like this one if you enjoyed it. So thanks again to all the full-time MMA white belts that have hit the subscribe button. And also, if you're just lurking and this is your first time seeing a video, appreciate that as well. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOJ.